next module, that is the probability part, we will study about the overview of random variable and random process. So before going on to the topic, why we study random process or this probability part in our digital communication? Do anyone have any answer? I repeat, why we study this probability part, that is overview of random variable and much about random process in our digital communication. Study this part, that is the overview of random variable and random process. Mainly about random process in digital communication. Okay, in this chapter, we will study about the random process and their properties mainly. And the random process, as we know, it's a good model for both information sources and noise. In digital communication, communication part, we are transmitting a signal or information, and which may or may not contains noise. So here in this module, we are studying about random process, as random process is a good model for both information source and noise. That is, when a signal is transmitted through a communication channel, there are two types of imperfections or interference that causes the received signal to be different from transmitted signal. That is, when we transmit a signal in a communication channel, there may be two types of imperfections that cause the received signal to be different from transmitted signal. So one of the imperfections are deterministic in nature. That is, one of the interference which causes the transmitted signal to be different from received signal is that imperfections which are deterministic in nature, such as linear and non-linear distortion. The second class is non-deterministic, such as fading, multipath fading, addition of noise, etc. So for the quantitative study of this phenomena, we model them as random process. That is, when a signal is transmitted through a communication channel, there are two types of imperfections that causes the received signal to be different from transmitted signal. അതായത് നമ്മളൊരു കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ചാനലിലൂടെ ഒരു സിഗ്നൽ ട്രാൻസ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ റിസീവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സിഗ്നൽ വിൽ ബി ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ഫ്രം ട്രാൻസ്മിറ്റഡ് സിഗ്നൽ ഇൻ സം കേസസ് ഡ്യൂ ടു സം ഇംപെർഫെക്ഷൻസ് ഇൻ ദ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ചാനൽ. ഫസ്റ്റ് ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് ഇംപെർഫെക്ഷൻസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഡിറ്റർമിനിസ്റ്റിക് ഇൻ നേച്ചർ ആയിരിക്കും. സച്ച് ആസ് ലീനിയർ ഡിസ്റ്റോർഷൻ ആവാം, നോൺ ലീനിയർ ഡിസ്റ്റോർഷൻ ആവാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ISI, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇന്റർ സിംബൽ ഇന്റർഫറൻസ് ആവാം ഫ്രം ദ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ചാനൽ ഓർ നിയർ ബൈ ചാനലിലുള്ള ഇന്റർഫറൻസ് കൊണ്ടുള്ള ഇംപെർഫെക്ഷൻസ് ആവാം. അതുമല്ലെങ്കിൽ ദ സെക്കൻഡ് ക്ലാസ് ഈസ് നോൺ ഡിറ്റർമിനിസ്റ്റിക്, അതായത് നമുക്ക് ഡിറ്റർമൈൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഇംപെർഫെക്ഷൻസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്റർഫറൻസ് ആയിരിക്കും. സച്ച് ആസ് നോയ്സ്, മൾട്ടിപാത്ത് ഫേഡിങ്, അതായത് റേഡിയോ ഫേഡ് നമ്മൾ മൈക്രോവേവ് കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷനിൽ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവും, ഇനി പഠിക്കുമായിരിക്കും. മൾട്ടിപാത്ത് ഫേഡിങ്, റേഡിയോ ഫേഡ്, നോയ്സ് എക്സെട്ര എല്ലാം നോൺ ഡിറ്റർമിനിസ്റ്റിക് ആണ്, അല്ല നമുക്ക് ഡിറ്റർമൈൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഇന്റർഫറൻസ് ആണ്. സോ ഫോർ ദ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റേറ്റീവ് സ്റ്റഡി ഓഫ് ദിസ് ഫിനോമിനൻ, അതായത് ഈ അൺഡിറ്റർമിനിസ്റ്റിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഫിനോമിനൻ ലൈക്ക് ഫേഡിങ്, പിന്നെ നോയ്സ്, ഈ നോയ്സിനെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യാനും അതിനെപ്പറ്റി സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്യാനും വേണ്ടി നമ്മൾ ഈ നോയ്സിനെല്ലാം ഒരു റാൻഡം പ്രോസസ്സായിട്ട് വെച്ചിട്ട് മോഡൽ ചെയ്യും. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഫോർ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റേറ്റീവ് സ്റ്റഡി ഓഫ് ദിസ് ഫിനോമിന we model them as random process. That is undeterministic phenomena, we model them as random process. So in this chapter we study about the random process and the property. Random process is a good model for both information sources and noise. When a signal is transmitted through a communication channel, there are two types of imperfections that can be received by the signal, that can cause the received signal to be different from transmitted signal. One class of imperfections are deterministic in nature, that is we can determine the nature such as linear and non-linear distortion, ISI, etc., that is inter-symbol interference, etc. These are deterministic in nature. And second class is non-deterministic in nature, such as noise, multipath fading, etc. So in order to study this non-deterministic nature of this phenomena, we model them as random process. The information that is to be transmitted is also by its nature best modeled as random process. The information which is to be transmitted can also be modeled as random process. This is due to the fact that any signal that convey information must have some uncertainty in it. That is, what any signal which we are transmitting consists some uncertainty in it. Some information, it is uncertain. We don't know the information completely. Some of the information in a signal must be uncertain. So the information that is to be transmitted by its nature can be best modeled as random process. So we will come to the topic, that is random experiment. So before rolling a die, you don't know the result. This is an example of random experiment. That is, when you are going to roll a die consists of 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So before you are going to roll a die, you don't know the result. The result may be 1, 2, or 3, or 4, 5, 6, any one of that. This is an example of a random experiment. So in particular, a random experiment is a process by which we observe something which is uncertain. Uncertain in the sense we don't know the result. Before we are going to roll a die, you don't know the result. That is, the output is uncertain. So such an experiment is known as random experiment. We are randomly performing the experiment. We are unaware of, about the output, or we are unaware about the result. In particular, a random experiment is a process by which we observe something which is uncertain, which we don't know. That is, the output or the result is unknown. So such an experiment is now called as random experiment. After the experiment, the result of the random experiment is known. That is, after we are performing a random experiment, the result may be known. Such a result is called as outcome. An outcome is the result of a random experiment. Consider a tossing of a coin. The result, before tossing a coin, you may not know the output. The result may be either head or tail. So the output here, head and tail, is called the outcome of the random experiment, and tossing a coin is here the random experiment, and the result head and tail is the outcome. So an outcome is a result of a random experiment. The set of all possible outcome is called the sample space. Here, in the case of die, the outcomes will be either 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, or 6. Here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the outcome set, the set of all possible outcome is called sample space. Thus, in the context of random experiment, the sample space is our universal set. Here, sample space in the case of die, S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the sample space, and this is the universal set. Here are some examples of random experiment and the sample spaces. Like our first example, random experiment of a toss of a coin. When we toss a coin, the sample space is the possible outcome. When we toss a coin, there can be only 2 outcomes, either head or tail. So this is the sample space. Sample space consists of the possible outcome while doing a random experiment. Random experiment is a toss of a coin, and the outcome may be head or tail. The set of all possible outcome creates the sample space, and sample space is usually known as universal set, or we usually write the sample space as S is equal to H comma T, or head comma tail. Both this denotation can be given. Now the random experiment of a roll of a die. When we roll a die, the sample space is S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when we repeat a random experiment several times, we call each one of them a trial. That is, if we roll a die for the first time and the output is 1, this was a trial. And if we repeat the experiment and we get an output 4, that is also a trial in which we got 4. And so when we repeat a random experiment several times, each one of them is called a trial. That is, if we roll a die for the first time, the output may be 1, and this is a trial. And if we again roll a die, the output will be 3. Then it is called a trial. So repeating random experiment will result in trial. That is, when we repeat random experiment several times, each one of them is called a trial. Each random experiment is called a trial. That's particular random experiment. That is rolling a die. When we are repeating that random experiment several times, each one is called a trial. Thus, a trial is a particular performance of a random experiment. That is a particular performance of a random experiment. In the examples of a tossing a coin, each trial will either result in head or tail. So, we'll again discuss random experiment once more. That is, before rolling a die, you don't know the result. The result is an example. This is an example of random experiment. That is, when we are going to perform some experiment in random, like rolling a die, you don't know the result. Or in prior, it may be 1, 2, or 3. The outcome or the result is unknown or uncertain. In such case, such experiment are called as random experiment. In particular, a random experiment is a process by which we observe something which is uncertain or the result is unknown. After the experiment, the result of random experiment is known. That is, after performing the experiment like rolling a die, either the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6, and the output will be known after performing the random experiment. And the output is known as outcome of a random experiment. And set of all possible outcome is called sample space. When we are performing the experiment like rolling a die, there will be 6 set of output. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as the die has 6 faces. So the set of all this possible result or the outcome creates the sample space or constitute the sample space. Thus, in the context of random experiment, the sample space is our universal set. Here, some examples of random experiments and the sample spaces are shown. Here, random experiment like toss a coin, sample space S is equal to head and tail. That is, tossing a coin consists of 2 outputs, either head or tail. This creates the sample space, which is the universal set. And a roll of a die, the sample space is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which constitute the sample space. When we repeat a random experiment several times, each one is called trial, and thus the trial is a particular performance of a random experiment. In examples of tossing a coin, each trial results in either head or tail. So, if in each trial an experiment is conducted under identical, the outcome is not unique, but may be any one of the possible outcome, then such experiment is called as random experiment. Example like tossing a coin, throwing a die, and another example is selecting a card from a pack of playing cards. The result of a random experiment, as we have discussed, is called outcome, and the set of all possible outcome of a random experiment is called sample space. And sample space is denoted by S or omega, and each outcome is represented by S or omega respectively, that we will discuss later. And for example, consider a random experiment of tossing 2 coins simultaneously. Then the sample space will be either HH, HT, TH, or TT. And now we will discuss about random variables. A random variable is simply but a mapping from sample space S to set of real numbers. Sample space, we know that it is the set of all possible outcome. In case of rolling a die, it's a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is our set of outcome. So a random variable is a mapping from sample space S to the set of real number. It's a mapping from a random variable is nothing but a mapping from sample space S to the set of real number. A random variables are usually denoted as X, capital Y, etc. And random variable X is a function from the sample space to the real number. Here, random variable X is a function or is a mapping from sample space S to the set of real number R. So, a random variable X is a function from the sample space to the real number. That is, random variable X is a function from sample space S to the set of real number R. In a nutshell, a random variable is a real valued variable whose value is determined by an underlying random experiment. In short, a random variable is nothing but a real valued variable. A random variable X or Y is a real valued variable whose value is determined by the underlying random experiment. So, a random variable is a variable which is a real valued variable whose value is determined by the random experiment. Example, if I toss a coin 5 times, this is a random experiment. And each time, the first time, second time, each time is called a trial. That is, when I toss a coin 5 times, this is a random experiment. And the sample space can be written as T, 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 or T, 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 H, or H, 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 like that. Note that here the sample space S has 2 raised to 5. That is, when we are 2 raised to 5 in the sense that if you are tossing a coin 5 times, so 2 raised to 5, that is 3225, that is 32 element will be there, like there will be 32 combinations. And suppose that in this experiment, we are interested in the number of heads. We can define random variable X whose value is number of observed heads. We are performing a experiment like tossing a coin 5 times. So, this is a random experiment. This tossing a coin 5 times is a random experiment. And the sample space can consist of 32 elements. There will be 32 combinations of this tossing a coin. And what we observe here is the number of heads. That is, we are interested here in the number of heads. So, the random variable X here is the value, random variable X is the value in which the number of observed heads, that is the number of observed heads is the random variable head X. That is, when we are toss a coin 5 times, this is called a random experiment, and the sample space can be written like this, in which the sample space, it contains 2 raised to 5, that is 32 element or 32 combinations of head and tail. So here we are interested in the number of heads. So that is how many number of heads are there in each combination. So we can define a random variable X whose value is nothing but the number of observed head. Here random variable X is the number of observed head, since we are interested in the number of heads only. If you are interested in the number of tail, we can define a random variable X as the number of value as the variable whose value is the number of observed tail. And if you are interested in both head and tail, we can define random variable X as, if you are interested in random variable or if you are interested in combination of 2 tail, we can define a random variable X as whose value is the number of observed head in which there are 2 tails. So a random variable is nothing but it's a mapping from the sample space S. That is, it is a mapping from this sample space here. Like we can see S is equal to many 32 combinations of head and tail. So it's a nothing but it's a mapping from this real sample space S to a set of real numbers, to a set of real number in sense that number of observed head. It will be a real number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will be a real number. So a random variable is nothing but it's a mapping from sample space S to the set of real number. A random variable are denoted as X, Y, etc. This is capital denotation. And in a random variable is a function from sample space S to a real number, that is X. Random variable X is a mapping from sample space S to real number. In nutshell, a random variable is nothing but a real valued variable whose value is determined by underlying random experiment. And we will consider an example. If I toss a coin for 5 times, this is a random experiment. That is in the sense that we don't know the outcome or the result of this random experiment. So this experiment is called random experiment. And the sample space can be written as like S is equal to like this combination, in which the set of this outcome creates the sample space as we have discussed in previous slide. And next is the note that here the sample space S has 32 elements or 32 combination of head and tail. Suppose in this experiment, if you are interested in the number of head, then the random variable X is a variable whose value is the number of observed head. If you are interested in the number of tail, then the random variable X is a variable whose value is the number of observed tail. Basically, there are two important classes of random variable. This can be discrete random variable and continuous random variable. Basically, there are two types of random variable, that are discrete random variable and continuous random variable. A random variable is discrete if the range of its value is either finite or countably infinite. That is, a random variable can be called as a discrete if the range of its values is either finite or countably infinite. Or a random variable is a variable whose value is obtained by counting. That is like experiment like tossing a coin. The output can be either head or tail. It can't be a head and tail, etc. So a random variable is a discrete if the range of its output value is either finite, that is either head or tail, or countably infinite. That is, the discrete random variable is discrete random variable in which the variable is a variable whose value is obtained by counting. That is a number of eggs a hen can lay. It can be either 1, 2. Not we can't say it can lay 2.5 eggs, like that. So a random variable is a discrete random value. It will give a discrete random value, or random variable is a discrete if the range of its value is either finite or countably infinite. Or a discrete variable is a variable whose value is obtained by counting. Now we will consider the case of continuous random variable. A random variable is continuous if the range of its value is either continuous or it takes uncountably infinite number of values. That is, like temperature, pressure, etc. Its values is continuous, or it takes uncountably infinite number of values. Like 2.5, temperature can be 0 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Celsius, 2.5 degrees Celsius, etc. Unlike discrete random variable, it will be a whole number like 1, 2, 3, or etc. A random variable is a continuous if its range of its value is either continuous or it take uncountably infinite number of values. Or the main difference between the discrete random variable and continuous random variable is that a discrete random variable is a variable whose value is obtained by counting. That is, we can directly count, like number of heads. It can be 1, 2, or 3. It can be 1.2, 1.3, etc. That is a discrete random variable. Example is tossing a coin. It can be 1, 2, or 3, or rolling a die. Example is the best example. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can be the output can't be, or the random variable count cannot be 1.5, 2.5, etc. That is, a random variable is discrete in the range of its value, and it's either finite or uncountably infinite. Or discrete variable is a variable whose value is obtained by counting. And when we come to continuous random variable, is continuous in the range of its value and is either continuous or it takes uncountably infinite number of values. Like measuring, it is obtained by measuring. And a discrete random variable is obtained by counting, and continuous random variable is obtained by measuring. That is, if you measure a temperature in an interval 0 to t, it will be in the range of, it can be 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, or it can be 1.235, etc. So a discrete random variable is obtained by counting, and continuous random variable is obtained by measuring. Now let's take the attendance. Roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3, roll number 3, absent ആണോ? Roll number 4, roll number 5, 6, 7, roll number 7, roll number 7 ആരാ? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പറയോ? Roll number 7, roll number 7 absent. Roll number 8, roll number 9, roll number 10, roll number 10, roll number 11. ആരും മീറ്റിംഗ് ലീവ് ചെയ്യല്ലേ? ക്ലാസ് കഴിഞ്ഞില്ല, അറ്റൻഡൻസ് ഇൻ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ എടുത്തുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. റോൾ നമ്പർ 11, ഹർഷ് ഹരീന്ദ്രൻ. ആരാ റോൾ നമ്പർ 11? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പറയോ? അല്ല, ആബ്സെന്റ് തെറ്റായി മാർക്ക് ചെയ്യുക, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. സൗമ്യ കെ എൻ, ഒന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യോ? സൗമ്യ പ്രസന്റ് ആണോ? റോൾ നമ്പർ 11 ആരാ അറിയോ? റോൾ നമ്പർ 12, ജസീം ആബ്സെന്റ്. ഓക്കെ. റോൾ നമ്പർ 12, roll number 12, roll number 13, roll number 13, roll number 14, 14 absent, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, roll number 20. Okay, present. അപ്പം absentees roll number 3, roll number 7, roll number 10, roll number 11, roll number 12, roll number 13, roll number 14 ആണ് absentees. Okay, fine. സോ ഇപ്പൊ എടുത്ത വരെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടോ? സ്പീഡ് ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? പറയുന്നത് കുറച്ച് സ്പീഡ് ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? കുറച്ച്. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി സ്ലോ ചെയ്യാം. ആൻഡ് so a random experiment before that is before when we roll a die you don't know the result. This is an example of random experiment, and random variable is just a mapping from a sample space S to the set of real number, and a random variable are denoted as capital X and Y, etc. It can be Z or anything, but it should be denoted in capital letter. And the random variable X is nothing but a mapping from sample space S to the real number set R. And now we have studied two types of random variable, that is discrete random variable and continuous random variable. A random variable is discrete if the range of its value is either finite or countably infinite, and a random variable is and it can be obtained by taking the count. And a random variable is continuous if the range of its values is either continuous or it takes uncountably infinite number of values. That is, it is obtained, a random variable or continuous random variable is obtained by measuring, and discrete random variable is obtained by counting. Screen share ആവുന്നുണ്ടോ? Screen, okay. Now we will look into the continuous random variables and the distributions. Here we will study about three types, that is cumulative distribution function, that is CDF, and probability density function PDF, and next is probability mass function PMF. So you can note down the cumulative distribution function formula. That is, the CDF of a random variable X is defined as F subscript as Fx of X equal to probability of capital X less than or equal to small x. That is cumulative distribution function CDF. The CDF of a random variable X is defined as Fx of X equal to probability of X less than or equal to X. Here we will discuss about the properties of CDF. You may also note down these properties. That is, first is 0 less than or equal to f of x of small x, that is x less than or equal to 1, or fx of minus infinity equal to 0 and fx of infinity equal to 1. And third is probability of A less than capital X less than or equal to B equal to fx of B minus fx of A. That is continuous random variables and the distribution, in which we will be studying that cumulative distribution function CDF. The CDF of random variable X is defined as Fx of X equal to probability of X less than or equal to small x. And properties of this CDF is, first one is 0 less than or equal to Fx of X less than or equal to 1, and Fx of minus infinity equal to 0 and Fx of infinity equal to 1. And third one is probability of A less than X less than or equal to B equal to Fx of B minus Fx of A. You may note down this cumulative distribution function CDF and the properties. Next, we will discuss about the probability density function PDF. The PDF is for continuous random variable X, and PMF is for discrete random variable, in which discrete random variable is obtained by taking the count, and continuous random variable is obtained by taking the measurement. So probability density function PDF is for continuous random variable, and probability mass function is for discrete random variable. That is, PDF is for continuous and PMF is for discrete. Now consider a continuous random variable X with an absolutely continuous CDF Fx of X. Then the function Fx of X be defined by Fx of X is equal to d by dx of Fx of X. That is, probability density function small Fx of X equal to d by dx of Fx of X. That is, if you are differentiating the CDF, we get probability density function. But consider a continuous random variable X with an absolutely continuous CDF Fx of X. Then the function Fx of X, that is small Fx of X, is defined as, that is, small Fx of X is the PDF, It is defined by differentiating, that is d by dx of CDF, that is fx of x. So the probability density function PDF is nothing but small fx of x equal to d by dx of fx of x, where fx of x, this part is called as CDF, for continuous distribution function. And here are the properties of PDF. Here first one is fx of s, that is probability density function, is greater than or equal to 0 for all values, for all x belongs to R. For all values of x which belongs to R, fx of x is always greater than or equal to 0. And next one property is that minus infinity to infinity fx of u du equal to 1. And third one, that is p probability of a less than or x less than or equal to b is fx of b minus fx of a. This is same as we have seen in continuous CDF, that is probability of a less than x less than or equal to b is fx of b minus fx of a, same as probability of a less than or equal less than x less than or equal to b equal to fx of b minus fx of a, that is integral a to b fx of u du. And you may also note down this PDF formula and the properties. That is the probability density function fx of x is nothing but derivative of continuous CDF, continuous distribution function d, that is d by dx of capital fx of x. And the properties is of PDF is that fx of x is always greater than or equal to 0 for all x belongs to R, and minus infinity to infinity fx of u du equal to 1, and probability of a less than x less than or equal to b is nothing but fx of b minus fx of a, or it may be integral a to b fx of u du. More generally, the set of a p which in x which belongs to a, integral a fx of u du. Now we will discuss about the probability mass function PMF. Here x be the discrete random variable with range R, and x be the sample space in which the outcomes are x1, x2, x3, that is infinite or countably infinite outcomes. Then the function Px of xk equal to P probability of x equal to xk for k equal to 1, 2, 3 is called the probability mass function or PMF of x. That is probability mass function PMF is nothing but Px of xk, where this x is where the Px of xk is nothing but it is equal to the probability of x, which is equal to xk, in which the k can take values like 1, 2, 3, etc. And this is known as probability mass function of x, that is Px of xk equal to probability of x equal to xk, where k can take values 1, 2, 3, and it's called probability mass function of x. Yep, we can discuss the properties of PMF. You can also note down the PMF probability mass function formula and the properties of PMF. Here it is 0 less than or equal to Px of x less than or equal to 1 for all x, and the summation x belongs to Rs, Px of s is equal to 1. So you may note down this probability mass function formula and the properties. Let x be a discrete random variable with a range R, and x consists of x1, x2, x3, which is finite or countably infinite. The function Px of xk is nothing but probability of x equal to xk for k equal to 1, 2, 3, and it's called a probability mass function or PMF of x. And the properties of PMF are 0 less than or equal to Px of x less than or equal to 1 for all x, and summation x belongs to Rx, Px of x is equal to 1. PMF is for discrete random variable, and PDF is for continuous random variable, and cumulative distribution function is nothing but a CDF of random variable which can be defined as fx of x, which is equal to probability of x less than or equal to x. So today we have discussed about random experiment and random variable and two types of random variable, discrete random variable and continuous random variable. And we have discussed about the continuous random variable and the distribution, probability density function, and probability mass function. So that's all for today's class. ഇപ്പം അനുവിൻ സുധാകരൻ റോൾ നമ്പർ എത്രയാ? ഒന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് പറയോ?
റോൾ നമ്പർ 2.
ഓക്കെ. റോൾ നമ്പർ 7 പ്രസന്റ് ആണോ? റോൾ നമ്പർ 10, റോൾ നമ്പർ 11, റോൾ നമ്പർ 12, 13, 14. ഓക്കെ. ഇത് ഡിജിറ്റൽ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടൊരു വാട്സാപ്പ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഇതിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾ അഡ്മിനായിട്ട് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക, എന്നിട്ട് അത് അന്നെ ആഡ് ചെയ്യുക. ഓക്കെ.